Hey, folks, welcome back to Rugby Ascendant. This is Chris in Pennsylvania, and my guest today is Ryan Rees from the Rugby ATL side. And first off, right out of the gate, let me just say this. Congratulations on your selection as an Eagle. Gary Go put you on a squad. You also made the traveling squad. So you're headed to Twickenham and to Aviva stadiums coming up here very shortly. Are you excited about that?
Yeah, super stoked. And thank you for congratulations. But yeah, obviously just super excited to get over there, especially for first cap to be playing against, some of the top 5 ranked teams in the world. So yeah, super happy about that.
Well, England at Twickenham. I mean, there's only 3 meccas of rugby. That's one of them, Ellis Park, and then Eden Place, or Eden in New Zealand, South Africa, England. But maybe you could say Millennium in Wales. But definitely Twickenham is the mecca of rugby, and you're going to get to play there. That's got to be you got to be stoked.
Super stoked. And what's even better about it is that most of my dad's family still lives in London currently. So if I do get a chance to play or see the field, this will be the first time that really any of them have ever seen me in person play rugby or any sport for that matter. So I'm super happy about that as well.
Well, that's crazy. I didn't realize you had family in England. That's interesting to hear.
Yeah. My dad is Welsh. Well, he's born in Wales and then grew up in London. So all of his family is in London. So it would only be a short train ride over to Twickenham to see the game. So yeah, that's probably what I'm most excited for, is just getting to see them there.
That's pretty cool. Would be pretty cool, I should say. A lot of guys had to move to Atlanta or had to become familiar with Atlanta, or at least Marietta, Georgia, which is where Rugby ATL plays out on Lupel Field there at Life University. But you kind of have an insight into that. Didn't you play at Life?
Yeah, I played at Life I played 3 full seasons there, and then my final season obviously was cut short due to COVID, so that was a bummer. But yeah, it was it was a super awesome experience to play at Life. As far as U.S. rugby goes for college, that's about as good of an experience as you can get. I just remember coming out of high school, I was still super raw, barely played rugby that much. Didn't really know how to pass that well. I could pass on my right, but just working with the older guys, especially the foreign players that often go to school there, it was just a huge help and really helped kind of accelerate my development as a player. So I give a lot of credit just to go into Life for being able to kind of develop my skills a lot more than the average American rugby player would.
Well, when it comes to sevens, Life is a juggernaut. You've got Life, Kutztown, you got Cal Bears. That's some of the big names out there. Definitely Life is, and if at the Collegiate Rugby Championships every year that they were used to hold in Philadelphia, that was in New Orleans this year at the Gold Mine. But when they did it in Philadelphia, the Life crowd was huge and they were loud, and the men and women definitely put on a good program, and it was great to watch Life play. That sevens program is really well run there, and I imagine you had a good experience with it.
Oh yeah, totally. Coach Colton's Carriaga has been the head coach of the 7 since before he was the 15s coach, and he's just a really good coach when it comes to 15s and 7s specifically. He knows what he's doing there, so that's probably you saw the success they had this year. A lot of that is due to the coaching aspect of it, and then just the young talented players as well. So.
Well, a little bit of bad news for the Eagles here. We see that with the Sale Sharks over the weekend that AJ McGinty went down at fly half. Of course, he's a captain for the Eagles. So I don't know who Gary's going to pick as a captain. I would guess maybe Cam Dolan might be the choice, but not to put a bummer on the Eagles trip to the UK and to Ireland. But even with the loss of AJ McGinty, this is a very strong team in no small measure, I would argue, because you guys are playing together and against each other. A lot of the talent that's on there, 2/3 of the talent that's been chosen for this squad comes from Major League Rugby. So you know what to expect, and you've had lots of tests on your, or not tests, but lots of appearances under your belt. So I'm thinking that that the team, despite the loss of AJ McGinty, is still going to look pretty strong. It's a tall order to take on England and Ireland, but I'm sure you guys are up for it.
Yeah, definitely. I think everyone's just super excited to kind of see the progress. I think everyone around the world, honestly, is excited to see what the progress that the MLR has made for the U.S. national setup. And then obviously losing AJ, that sucks. I don't know don't think it's been disclosed the full like specifics of the injury, but it didn't look good, and it's just sucks not having AJ. But I think everyone's still super excited and is going to be chomping at the bit to get after these guys.
Absolutely, no doubt about it. So you're playing on a side down there in Atlanta, which is pretty interesting. You're an American, and you've got Kiwis, you've got Canadians, you've got South Africans all over the place. It's a very cosmopolitan squad with players who come with very different rugby experiences. Has that helped you improve your game in any way playing down there in Atlanta?
Yeah, definitely. Like I alluded to it earlier at Life with the foreign guys, especially like the Irish guys, AJ being one of them. That was at Life that helped kind of develop our skills. But yeah, definitely playing with these, these guys who've been playing professionally in their country in the Curry Cup, the Mitre 10 and whatnot. Just being able to play around them and see how they, kind of hone their skills in after practice and whatnot. It's been a super big help. So, and then it's also interesting with like all the different nationalities. You can kind of see the different identity, like the rugby identities for like South Africa and New Zealand, kind of how they think about rugby and their mindset and approach to the game. And it's interesting to see how they mesh and create one, amalgamation of the different sort of rugby identities. So it's interesting.
So at Life, of course, that's a school that does a lot of medical stuff. What were you studying there? What did you get your degree in?
So I'm still working on my first degree.
Oh, okay.
It's a long, arduous process, but I'm currently in the exercise science program, and I only have a few more classes to take. It's just hard to sort of when you get to the end of your degree, it's kind of hard to find which classes are being offered at the right time. So really that's been the only hurdle towards the end of getting my degree is kind of just finding when the classes are offered and scheduling them around rugby and whatnot.
Well, I'm sure that the COVID didn't help that situation at all with all the pandemic stuff going on.
No, it didn't. So like we were like most other universities, we went to online for a couple of quarters, but it's pretty much all back to in-person classes now. I'm currently taking this quarter off because of what I said before. They weren't offering classes for this quarter, but I actually found that I think it's helped kind of take the school off my plate so I can focus on rugby, focus on the season while we're in the meat of the season. So it's been actually unforeseen, but it was helpful. I think so.
Now you're from Austin, Texas, I understand.
Yeah.
So are you a fan of Austin city limits?
Oh, totally, yeah. My parents take me to Austin city limits when I was like 6 or 7 years old, when there was hardly anybody at the park, and me and my brother and my brother's friend would just like basically run amok with a football or a frisbee and just get into any sort of trouble we could find. So yeah, that was really fun. Are you going this year?
No. I'm just asking. I'm not really a fan, but I've sort of from distance. But the question, so you're from Austin. Would you want to, at some chance, maybe go back and play in Texas for one of the Texas squads?
I mean, that would be cool. I missed the first MLR draft, kind of the one that was televised. Mm-hmm. And then they had a supplementary draft later on for the people that missed out on that draft. And that's the one that I got, that I entered. And I was drafted by Nola Gold, actually. And then just with kind of obviously still doing my school here in Atlanta, it just worked out that it would be a better fit to play for Atlanta. And Ryan Fitzgerald and the staff at NOLA were super accommodating, and I couldn't be more grateful for them working with me to help me play here in Atlanta so that I can finish out my degree here.
Well, that's great to get a chance to finish it out. That works out really well. So I hope that you're able to get the courses scheduled sometime soon so you can knock that out, because that'd be a nice achievement to add that to your CV. Nice thing. Mm-hmm. So this past week, tough game. Rugby United up there at St. John's on Long Island. During the game, there was a bit of a head knock. It looked like you were trying to beat Mark O'Keefe up there with your head. So I was pretty rough looking, and watching the rest of the game there, it looked like you were a blood donor there. There's a lot of blood coming off that head wound. How is the head wound? Are you okay? And you think you'll be back in the mix anytime soon?
Yeah, everything's fine. The blood probably made it look worse than it was. The cut isn't too big on my head, but just for safety precautions, they put 7 staples in it after the game. So that's kind of been the biggest pain in the butt. Is just dealing with the staples in my head, because I often forget they're there, and I'll just like run my fingers through my hair and kind of yank on it. I don't want to paint too vivid of a picture, but yeah, it can be uncomfortable at times. But I believe I'm fit for selection this week. It just depends on whether I make the 23 or not if I play.
Well, good luck on that. Let's hope that you're able to make it back on the pitch, because you're an exciting guy to watch on the pitch. We've enjoyed watching you so far this season. And also when you're playing at life, it's pretty exciting to see out there. Do you have a preference? I know that's not fair because you're playing for Rugby Atlanta right now and people earning paychecks, but is it fair to ask you if you have a preference playing 7? I mean, if you're playing for recreation, if you're not playing for work, would you prefer to play 15s or 7s? Is one more exciting than the other, or they just both bring great aspects that you enjoy?
Yeah, I mean, if gun to my head, I'd say 15s, just because there's kind of a lot more of a tactical side to it, I would say. But 7s, I mean, it's kind of like when you're at the end of your 15 season, all you're looking forward to is playing 7s. And then when you're at the end of your 7th season, you're looking forward to playing 15s. But yeah, I would say 15s. It's just, it's kind of like the proper sport, of rugby, and I like it. So.
Absolutely, without a doubt. Well, Ryan, it's good to see that you're healthy, and that the Frankenstein staples haven't diminished your spirit, because you're still into the game. And I'm going to wish you a good rest of the season. Hope you guys do well. But more importantly, for the immediate thing, is that this the summer test, that's going to be awesome. You're uncapped. This will be your first chance at a cap. That's got to be exciting that first time out. Make sure you save some souvenirs, whatever it is they give to you, whether they actually give you a genuine cap or whatever it is from this first one, because that first test cap is going to be something you never forget.
Oh yeah, totally.
Cool beans. Well, thanks a lot, Ryan Rees. Appreciate your time today, and best of luck the rest of the season this weekend. And with the Eagles, we'll be looking forward to seeing you on the pitch out there, minus staples, for Rugby Atlanta and for the Eagles. Thanks a lot, Ryan.
Thank you, Chris.